Again in full effect. Welcome again to the first Instagram Live Icon Selections Connects in 2033. And today we have a really special guest. And I see people entering right now. How you doing, Evert? Great to have you here. We have a special guest. It's one of the owners of Icon, and we are going to talk about flowers and all that stuff. He has a really long and big history in the flower business. So yeah, it's going to be really, really nice, really interesting. And of course, we have a lot of interesting varieties going on. I will show you, and we're going to tell about it in the coming hour. We're going to talk about it. So yeah, really important just to show that. Danny, how are you, bro? Nice to have you on the show. Let me invite Jan, and then Diego. He's there as well. Crazy. A lot of people. Erik, straight out of G-Town, Groningen. Nice. Hey, you have nothing to do with flowers, but you're watching. That's great. That's really great. Maybe you can learn something. Patrick, leuk. Wanneer zien we ons? Wanneer zit jij hier met mij? We're speaking Dutch, you know. That's crazy. Okay, let me look up Jan, so we can start. So funny. This. Obviously, in February, a lot of sun, rain is coming up, I think. Jan!
Hi, Guillermo.
There you go. We're there.
Yeah.
Patrick is there as well. Say hi to Patrick.
Hey, Patrick, who is it?
One of your old colleagues.
Yes.
Yes. And Luke, who is also watching from another room.
Yes, man. Everybody's watching.
Everybody. Dennis, how are you? Hyman Quick, Enno Barrows, nice. A lot of people entering, really nice. Well, I know you. Maybe a lot of people, some people in the group will know who you are, but it's really good to tell the people who you are, what are you doing, what is your relation with Icon. This is your Icon Selections Connects.
Thank you, Guillermo. Maybe some things I tell that nobody knew, but well, I'll try. I have a long history and a lot of chrysanthemum blood going through my veins.
That's true.
My great grandfather was the first chrysanthemum breeder in Holland. In 1931, he was sitting on the mail bags, going to England and going to France to collect his varieties, and he bred them. And at the time, also even Jan Haaksman, who is the predecessor of, say, Deliflo's varieties, or actually most of the Dutch varieties, unless from Japan. My grandfather grew them and sold cuttings, actually all over Europe. And nice. After that, my grandfather took over. The company name was Algra Serton. It was based in Vleuten in the Netherlands. And then my uncle also took over. And later my mother in South Africa also grew chrysanthemum cuttings for the UK, in England. And in my travels as well, I love chrysanthemum. My father immigrated to South Africa in 1975, and of course he took his twins with him, and that was me and my sister. Okay. And so we were born in Holland. My father is also a flower grower, and he went to work for a chrysanthemum grower in South Africa. So it's a whole history of chrysanthemums. And then I went to Holland because I had to go to military service. but Nelson Mandela was just freed, and
Okay.
compulsory military service was not done anymore in South Africa. So I decided to go and get my experience in Holland. In Holland, I had a lot of courses, a lot of things. I also worked in flower farms, and eventually, a very nice man, Mr. Wim Egberts, he came to ask me from Van der Meij chrysanthemums if I wanted to go to Kenya to go and grow for them. I was 25 at the time.
Young.
And, very young, and
Young and green.
I took the opportunity because I knew Africa, and all the skills are there. You can do everything by yourself and be able to train people. And started there, and after a few years, we were still growing a lot of Reagan cuttings at the time. We had 5 hectares of chrysanthemum cuttings. We were the last grower or propagator from Holland to actually move to Africa for cuttings. Well, from South Africa was one of the first countries where they propagated, and then they moved to Kenya, and then from Kenya they moved to Tanzania, and from Tanzania everybody moved to Uganda, or that's how they spread. Some are still at the same place, but I set up Mayflower in Kenya, and I learned an extreme amount there as well, because I needed to grow all those cuttings in Kenya. Yeah. And after 5 years, my daughter was born in Kenya, and we decided with my wife that we would go back to Holland. And then I went to go and work for another breeder, Preesman at the time, and I became general manager there, and also later took over the chrysanthemum part of Preesman. And while working there, because they didn't have international ambitions at that time, I left and went to work for Deliflor as the area manager Asia and America. And at that time we set up Deliflor Japan, a hub in Deliflor Japan for Asia, and Deliflor Colombia, which is now Deliflor Colombia. And I worked there for 9 years and enjoyed it a lot, and also got even more experience, and decided to start for myself, and found partners in Colombia, and we started what now is Icon Selections. And it is, and very maybe very interesting to know is that the name Icon Selections was born out of trying to make some words, and it's international. Colombia, Netherlands became like Icon. And we added the selections because we don't only breed chrysanthemums, but we also select Alstroemeria, and we select roses in Colombia too, commercialize them. And then we designed the logo, which is actually it's the spiral, or the what do you call it, the sequence of Fibonacci. It's a mathematical, so it's also built on science. So it's a mathematical equation for everything that is in nature. Yeah, it's crazy. And interesting to know is when you are in a spiral, everything looks differently from a different angle. Yeah, that's another advantage.
It's a crazy logo. And why did you put the petals there?
Because it has something more into. You can see the growing. You can grow from a small petal to a big petal, Actually, my partner's son is a world famous artist, and he helped us to design that logo. Very proud, Daniel.
Yeah, of
Very
course.
very proud to have helped in that, and we finished and fixed it at the time. But the real work came after that, and it was it's
Yeah,
very yeah. It takes a lot of energy and money
yeah,
to get it from the ground. Now, at this moment, I think we have approximately 30 people in Colombia in our breeding.
yeah.
It's almost 2 hectares with mother plants and show area, and seedlings and crossings, and so it's a very busy it's a very busy time, and it costs a lot of capital to move. And also now my partners understand where royalties come from and why they need to be paid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
they can have an inside look right now.
Everybody, and you know, I'm based in the Netherlands. I visit Colombia very regularly, but remotely I also do a lot.
Yeah.
And I also try to keep in touch and in contact with the growers here in the Netherlands, with the market here in Europe and United States. A lot of things are based on, of course, European taste.
It's different.
It's different. It's different from the United States or Asia or
Yeah.
Africa or Middle East. Um, the market is different, so you also need to adapt your varieties accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we do a really good job. We do a really good job. The stuff what we are having right now with Mark, it's our breeder. Um, he's developing like a special nose for really great things, and he knows what we want, what the growers want, which is really important, of course. But also, he looks like he listened to what we say from the commercial side as well. And I think
But
with the genetics, Colombian genetics of the plant, we have a big joker there. We have a big winner. And,
it's extremely important to have a good breeder, but you know, after a while, the organization is also very important. Is how you bring things forward, how you move things forward, and you must understand that you can't do all those things alone.
no,
And
and
you need
it would be really crazy to have a look in the mind of Mark. Way back I asked him like, would you be do you have like do you like to be with us in the icon selections connections? No, that's not for me. But it would be so crazy to see what what's going on in his mind when he's there in the pads doing his thing, because we are going to look to the results. We are going to show what we have already, and some stuff is incredible. And well, it comes all out of the mind of Mark. So yeah,
Oh, you can say it is all of the mind of Mark, but it's also a science, and also what we need to produce
true.
to be able to gain market share.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of varieties and a lot of segments that need improving in
Yeah,
Colombia. Look worldwide, there are a lot of varieties, but
and
there
the
are
world is
some.
still changing.
It's changing, and a lot of the varieties are not made for the conditions which they're grown in. At Icon Selections, we breed for the equatorial climate, for the equatorial growing. So that's more like, we can't put the heating on and go a few degrees higher. No, that thing needs to be resistant to botrytis.
Yeah,
We can't. We don't spray a lot of chemicals. We try not to.
no,
They have to travel far, so we need to have proper vase life testing. But you know, I always say there's so many varieties that are being trashed because there are bad growers too. You can't take rubbish, put them in a
Of
box
course.
and send them to wherever in the world and expect them to last 14 days. No, first step is first make a good stem, make a good variety, make the right amount of flowers, make them to specs.
Yeah.
And for us at Icon, we are specifically concentrating on our foliage, and we try to do that as good as we can.
You are pretty technical. So I have some questions about it. A lot of years right now, people are saying like we are in Colombia. We use a sort of product. It's called B9, and it's a really important product for the growing of flowers. But people are saying like, yeah, it won't last long. Can you explain to the people what is B9 and why it won't last long?
Yeah, you mean in last long is it won't take a long time before
Before it
supermarkets
will be out.
are also going to banish it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, its active ingredient is daminuside. In Holland or in other places in the world, they call it alar, and it's a growth regulating hormone to reduce the internodes of the plant, and it's being used to give it a nice spray formation.
Yeah.
But in many cases, people also think that they can make thicker stems with B9. They think they can do so much with B9, but
it's not true.
it has to do with uniformity and also the genetics that you have.
And density. In Colombia, we are talking a lot about density. Is like, hey, if people want to improve their stuff, they should know their varieties, which are uniform and can perform ultimately at a not so high density. So you have your the best production out of one bed. So you don't have to go with your workers more times in the bed to harvest.
Every variety has its density.
Yeah.
And we can generalize on it, but some need more. Some can have a bigger density, but it will all depend on internode size, on growth power, vigor, etc., etc. Many things, but the basics are soon forgotten, and people want to produce more stems per square meter. But I don't think it has been like that for the last 2 years with COVID. And the demand was high and the space was little, so people pushed a lot. But I believe it's now time to go for quality.
And, I totally agree. And it's also like, what we saw was a lot of Colombian visiting the Dutch fair. What is the name? Which the one in November. There were two.
Yes, the IFTA or.
Yeah. And the other one, and we saw a lot of people from Colombia go there because, well, obviously they think, okay, things are not going really good in Holland with the growers. Maybe we can jump into that hole, and maybe we can get our flowers there. But then, man, people have to think about like, hey, you have to change your chip because cultivating for a European market is so much different.
Yeah, it's definitely different, especially if you look at the Eastern European and Russian market. They're looking for totally different quality specs. There, for instance, in Europe or UK, and it also depends on is it a bunch of flowers which you're selling, or is it going to be used in the bouquet? Those are different specs. You know, in Holland now, 100 grams per stem is not unusual.
No. Yeah, we know
and
that.
also not for a disbot. But
Yeah.
I still think that if a disbot is 10 centimeters big, it's not, as you know, supposed to be flat, and we can make pancakes in Colombia. Where is the value? You know,
Yeah.
a flower is still something that you need to, it has perceived value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
that's totally true.
those are
We need to go to the
detail.
flowers.
Let's
I
do
have,
that. If
we have,
anybody has any questions, please ask them.
yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, if anybody have any questions, just put it in the chat. If you have questions for me, then just say it, or for Jan, just put it there, and we right away try to answer your question, right? Okay, I selected some stuff out of the beds of Icon. It's all chrysanthemum. I don't have roses at the moment. There is some new stuff coming up. We probably going to do a Instagram Connect, especially with those new varieties. So, but that's something what we are going to do in about 2 months, I think, 2-3 months, because then we have all the new varieties ready, and then they can send us some samples. I'm going to change the camera mode, and I'm going to walk around and show you a little bit what we have. I'm going to pick out some stuff, and we're going to take a look at it on a more detailed scale. Yeah, this one, you know, I love it. It's, people maybe know crème brûlée, and Mark got this one out, and it's called raspberry brulee. How do you like that, Jan?
Nice name, beautiful color. I think it's going to be very versatile. Very versatile.
So it looks good
in the market. Yes, yes.
No. And I think you can see at the stem, like what you said, like where's the focus, foliage, stems. Yeah, it looks really good, and I really love. And you can see it by a lot of varieties of Icon that we are having really nice, intense green foliage.
There's that value has not yet been, seemingly not yet been discovered. It gives volume. There's a lot of people in the USA or wholesalers or that still strip or ask for stripped flowers. So you make these flowers, beautiful foliage, and then they strip off the foliage from the neck down.
Yeah.
Wow, that is vitamin C.
That's vitamin C. Yeah, you named it.
Wow.
This is our thing. Yeah, it's crazy. I really love it. And you see also the foliage is so good, and the stems are really good.
Yeah.
People were talking about, or this orange can be daily products every day.
Yeah, sure.
Do you see this also as a trend in Holland, like this color?
Orange is a color that's used year round.
Yeah.
And especially that color of orange is the best. That's a true. That's a flaming orange. This looks like the.
And it's nice, and the center stays green. That's really nice. You can touch the petals. I see that Patrick is also watching our show. Patrick is the one who gave us the name for frisée.
Oh.
We don't have frisée here, but
yeah.
Oh, you're cold. Really important.
Yeah. No, this is not important.
It's not important. Shut it up then.
I'm doing it. No, I'm being called on my other phone from someone from Lebanon or something.
Oh my God.
Continuously, yeah.
There's a question from Bakash. And he or she is asking if our varieties also are available in South Africa.
No, in time we'll have our varieties available in South Africa too.
In South Africa,
But in South Africa, because I come from South Africa. My father still lives in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Coming months, I will probably be going there, and we want to do. But we first want to test because there are more extremes in South Africa than probably, and then many other countries. It's probably very comparable to Mediterranean climate. Too hot in the summer in South Africa, and too cold in the winter.
Hey, we got also a question from your boy Haaksman, and he asked, "What is the most common color you sell?" Well, the most common color we sell is yellow and white because of the bulk. You know, daisy yellow, cushion yellows. Those are the flowers, and those are the colors who make them a lot of money. And white button. For us, we have a white button. It's not here, Mark Twain, but we have it.
But it's the usual in the world are
that's the usual.
white and yellow daisies and white and yellow cushions or decoratives. And after that, you have the pinks and the purples and the other colors coming.
But we see also that vintage colors are gaining terrain.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. This one is our Yellowstone, a truly iconic variety. A lot of farms are having this one. Look at the stem, it's big, it's nice, it has great foliage, and the flower has a really bright yellow color with a green center. And if you look at the intense green foliage, it's, you know, that puts the flower in his right with the color. So yeah, I wanted to show the Yellowstone. We have also an orange version of this one, but the premier flower is this one, the Yellowstone.
Yeah.
It looks good, all flowers on top. Yeah, it's a great screen. It has a really great screen as well.
Beautiful.
I was told that in the United States, the bright colors are for winter. Is that in Europe as well? And then I'm talking about region New York more.
Bright colors in the winter.
Yeah, so the people stay happy.
That's why you have these icon connects, Guillermo, is to also get more details on how markets function and work. And I'm sure that every person or every different retailer will tell you another story. I also want to compliment you on the icon connects because it's really giving more people insight into breeding, into how the market, especially the United States market works, understanding.
Well, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. It's really nice to hear that from you. Yeah. Well, the idea when I started with this, you know, it was like I did my investigation and there's no breeder doing this. There's no breeder doing this. Not in roses, in whatever you can breed, they don't do it. We are the only ones. And you know, I'm a really social guy. And when I was at WUSA in that chat, that live chat, it was like, wow, we should do this with Icon, and we can educate people and entertain people with what we are doing. Because I think it's really important to show what you're doing, not only to sell your product, but also get the knowledge over about what you're doing with your flowers and how we are, what we are thinking and how we work. And it's a crazy, interesting world.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Nobody, if you look at the consumer, he won't even know that these things exist.
No.
Such beauty and how a chrysanthemum can be so beautiful.
No, yeah. And we can talk about my own personal experience. You know, I'm just 5 years in the game, and before I didn't know what a chrysanthemum was. I didn't know. They had to tell me, they had to show me. It was like, wow, okay, all of this is chrysanthemum. But yeah, right now I'm here in Icon, and we're making dollars with this one. Top dollar.
Yes.
What a crazy name. I love the name. Mark gave it this name. We are really strongly promoting this variety. White daisy, Look at the foliage, look at the stems again, you know, this is a pure blood icon variety, you know, love it.
Beautiful green center.
Yeah, you can see it here if I put it in the light like this. Petals are really white. So
there's
yeah.
a more European flair to it. Yeah, it's nice and full. And you know, in Europe we harvest our flowers open, which is completely different, for instance, to how people harvest their flowers in Colombia. Also for packing rates, etc. So we need to consider that. But
yeah,
perceived value is everything.
Look, Laurens van der Lans is also there as well.
Nice.
He was in Colombia last year. He was with us. He saw the varieties in our beds, and I think he was with some varieties. He was like flabbergasted, and he congratulated also Mark on the work he did. Here we have a vase with some teenies. You can see that this one is already a bit of like, yeah, it's like, yeah, old. I won't say that, but yeah, it has its time already. We are trying to promote this even more. These are named.
Is of course faster.
Yeah, it's faster. So yeah, you can see some yellowish, some is it pollen? No, stigma. You can see some stigma here.
No pollen.
No, it's no pollen. Santinis, micropalms. What is the future?
Well, I think it has a huge future, especially when supermarkets are taking more over in the bouquet market. They will function as a filler, but yeah, these can also go in a bouquet so nicely. As if you show the nebula, then the nebula series is now yellow and a white, but they are totally different from all others that have been there before. When breeding in Holland, everything is marketed on a bucket of water. That also Santinis are marketed on a bucket of water. That's totally different than how we do it in the rest of the world. We need to put it in a box. We need to travel. We need to do it. So it takes much more strain. People in Colombia, or the growers in Colombia, never took to Santinis or micros for that matter, because the foliage was so bad. And that's also because they are always marketed in water in Europe, and not in a box. That's one of the main reasons that the genetics never improved.
And look at the foliage here. It looks good. It is upright, easy packing, a lot of flowers on top, and just to have an idea of the size, this is my finger. So these flowers are really small, you know.
Yeah.
Really nice. That's why Jan also told us, like, you can use this as a filler. You can fill your bouquet with it.
Yes, and it is a nice flat screen, and I don't know how many flowers on the stem. 20.
Oof. No, a lot. No more.
Yes.
No, even more. And this one is really bushy. You can see it like it's over here, and the whole screen is full of flowers. It's crazy. Nice. This one is so different from everything. We called it a salamander, and at the time when it still was a coat, Mark asked me for the first show, should we show this or not? I was like, yeah, show it. People will not pay attention to it, but we have to show it, because I think that later on this can be.
They paid a lot of attention to it, because
they paid. I was
so many flowers,
guessing that
at
that time I was guessing that it wasn't going to be a hit or something, but it's now growing, and we gave it a name because people are going to put it commercial, and it's crazy.
It's the trade. You have heard in previous connects that they want chrysanthemums that don't look like chrysanthemums. So this
Yeah, no,
this
there
this
you have it.
perfectly fits the criteria. It's
Yeah.
green and it doesn't look like a chrysanthemum.
Yeah. Yes, it's crazy. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, it's great having something different with
Yeah.
that also meets all the specs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Then there is this one I really, really like as well. And we talked about it before. I have it also really open, but then it's, it's not that nice when it's really, really open. So I harvested this one. It's still a little bit closed. It's opening more.
Yeah.
It has a really, really green heart.
Center.
Uh, yeah, it's the center. The center is really, really green,
Yeah.
and it stands out with the color of the flower. It's crazy. It's called Wallace from Wallace and Gromit, right?
Yes. Yes, true.
Is
Because
there is there?
we have another one called Grommet as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the grommet is also there. Nice. Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks like, kind of mascara around your eye, kind of that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really
It's
beautiful.
intense in color.
It's really intense. Yeah. Yeah, it looks really good. Look really good. Would these intense colors work for the European market,
Oh yeah,
England market?
yeah. Currently, there are varieties that match the description.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, there's almost nothing new.
We have another one which I really want to show the people, and that's this one.
Oh,
Mist Cream.
yeah, that's fantastic. It's really, really nice.
It's fabulous.
It's like
I really love it.
it's a cream.
The,
It's a
yeah, it's a
true,
cream.
really nice cream.
The first time you saw this, what went through your mind?
Oh, look, of course, I saw the growing first and the uniformity in the foliage, and that was fantastic. And I also thought that this is something that's not in the market yet, and let's present it to the people from United States and see what they think. They loved it because with the
Yeah.
pure white, it's difficult to use in arrangements sometimes. They prefer like a broken white to a cream, which are much more easier to complement other colors. This would go
Yep.
easy with the white, but also easy with the yellow.
And look at the foliage is green, green, intense green, and that's why the flower stands out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really really
really
nice
crazy. Yeah,
product. Yeah,
really nice. Another pinkish purplish deco, which is new, is Prodigy.
yeah. I think it's more purple. Yes,
Yeah, more
dark
purplish.
pink,
Yeah.
dark pink.
The colors,
We haven't had.
it's also difficult
We're
sometimes
still
to.
at Icon. We are still building our matrix, our color matrix and our variety matrix. We're still really busy doing that. And Prodigy is is also ticking one of the boxes, being a dark pink decorative. You can see that in the beginning we had a lot of daisies, and now we are getting much more decorative varieties because
Yeah.
that's the next space in succession.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is Flair. Something
very nice.
completely new. I love it.
The color is fantastic too, but many of those things are beautiful. And I hope sincerely that our customers in the United States take on because they they deserve a spot.
Yes, crazy.
Yeah.
We got some really good reactions on this one.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Another thing I wanted to show you, which is not the regular taste, but it's so beautiful. It's the really traditional Japanese type chrysanthemum, right?
No, you can say it's probably more Chinese, but it's actually much more European. It's incurved, completely incurved. England, UK used to breed and have also those kind of types. Actually, the Asian white chrysanthemum is more based for funerals, and they are usually in a very tight bud and not shown as an open flower. But this is really nice.
You can see some spicks on it because it was next to a bed which was uprooted, so there is still some sand on it. But I wanted to show it because it's spectacular and it's something totally different.
It has show value, definitely.
It has show value.
Yes.
Yes. And it looks crazy, and it's also really
very
tight.
Very nice to see how wide Icon's assortment is. Goes from this buds to spray to santinis, everything under the sun. We have it.
Yep, we have it.
Mark is really busy breeding.
Yeah, he does a really good job. This is our pink ray, pink spider, really quick. Does a really good job. It's commercial. Ask your florists. Again, look at the stem. It's a big stem, finger thick, foliage. Bam, good, green.
You haven't been selecting all these thick stems, Guillermo.
No. No.
Good.
I just got something out of the bed without looking, almost.
Great.
Yeah, here you have more like a dahlia type. It is the disbud version of Testarossa. Maybe people know it.
Very vibrant red, beautiful red.
Yeah, beautiful. And last but not least, like almost a lotus, Gala.
Great diameter.
Yes, nice. It's pretty big. Crazy. Love it.
Yeah.
And the color. Yeah, so that were some really nice flowers from Icon. Iconic flowers.
Yes.
It's really important. We're going to show a lot of these varieties in the coming show of Woofsa, of course, which is in March. I will be there. If you guys go into Miami Woofsa, say hello, come by in our booth, check out our flowers. It's going to be, we are busy with designing the booth. It's not big, but we wanted to do something nice. So.
And this year,
and next week,
we're in Proflora too, isn't it?
Sorry?
This year we are in Proflora too, in Bogota.
We are going to be in Proflora. It's going to be really crazy Proflora. I think a lot of people will be there. There will be a lot of people coming. There will be crazy designs. There will be big booths. We saw already on the reserve list that a lot of breeders, they're packing it out with a lot of big things. I think it's going to be crazy with a lot of people. So yeah, that's this year in October.
Let's hope
one of the biggest flower fairs in the world, I think, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. One of the biggest It's in Bogota, and yeah, you have competitions and you have everything which has to do with flowers over there. It's crazy. I love it. You
Yeah,
definitely are going to be there as well, right?
I'm going to be there. I can't miss it. I need to be there.
Yeah,
I also
it's
miss it,
great.
see what's going on, and meet everybody
Meet
again. And
everybody again.
we're all so busy with the roses as well.
Yeah,
So that's a very important time to meet up with some rose growers
yeah,
and see how we can be of assistance there too. And well, for us, I think the major one is week 35, which is the chrysanthemum week, where we have a lot of international visitors coming. Everybody, welcome to Icon Selections
yeah.
in Rio Negro, and come and visit us.
Last year we did with Pura Vida. We did the interview here in the beds. He was there with us, representing representing his company, and that one you can see back on YouTube. Uh, are you going? Are you going to Proflora Pura or no? Yeah, I call you by your name because people see your name in the screen. So that's for me. It's easier to say that. Yeah, Proflora is going to be big, and we're
I
going to
can't
show a
hear
lot of
you.
stuff. You cannot hear me.
Got lost. The connection got lost.
Ah, okay.
Now the
Ah,
connection
yeah.
is okay.
Your screen is also a little bit pixelated, but we're good. We're good. We're good. Jan, what is what is for you the future of Icon?
Sorry. Okay. Can you ask the question again if you had one?
Of course. What is for you the future of Icon?
And it depends on which sense you were talking at it.
You you can put your own feeling to that.
We are. I think at Icon we are looking at growing the best varieties, iconic varieties, things that really can be a reference to other varieties, and for the Equatorian climate zone, 12 hours light, 12 hours darkness, and I hope we can grow organically. As time comes, we hope to gain some market share, but I think if you bring good products, they will surface. They will continue to grow, and I believe there's nothing stronger than a locally bred variety. Paisa breeding, as we would say,
Yes,
and yeah, much more local, and
much more local.
and also bred for the circumstance. For instance, my experience in the time that I was in Naivasha in Kenya, it's the light intensity is a little bit higher than near Rio Negro, but for the rest, it's completely the same in
Mm-hmm.
climatic conditions. So I really look forward to
Yeah,
to seeing how our varieties grow in
yeah, of
grow in other
course.
in other countries.
Yeah, yeah, and if the things are working like we want them to work, there is a really nice market for us there as well.
I think we're probably the furthest with ecological growing in Colombia, where we are putting into practice the types of growing and soil management and plant management that's done nowhere else in the world. It's really unique for a breeder yeah, to select his varieties based on the microbiome of a chrysanthemum
Yeah,
that nobody has done yet. Uh, so we hope to develop ourselves even further in this world. And it's like you said, aminoside, all the chemicals, doesn't matter if it's a hormone or it's going to exit the market. I think there are already some labels that don't want gibberellic acid or diaminoxide in their product. So then you get those old-fashioned stretch flowers,
For the people
which they use.
who don't know, you're talking about labels. Those are certifications, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The certification was it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Green Forest Alliance and Flor Verde and GAP and MPS and I don't know which. All of those. What was the one from the bananas?
Hey, I'm in flowers.
No, but they also come to flowers. So and those are what's Max Havelaar or those kind of labels.
Yeah.
And they are getting more position in the market.
Certified organic growth. Yeah.
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 And we also have adapted our varieties according to climate, so hot and cold, no irrigation, no heating, no CO2, but still trying to make heavy stems. And I don't have a testing greenhouse in Holland anymore. I had one, but with CO2, those varieties explode. They really grow heavy and really, really nice. So there are definitely some possibilities for us.
He said, he really wants to go to ProFlora. Yes, you have to go. And you can be in our booth, because that's the main booth of the whole fair.
That's the one.
You don't have to look further, only our booth. Just come by, have a sit, have a drink. Will be nice. I can talk with your people. It's no problem. Bakasha Masilela, she's saying that she's thanking us for the time and for all the information we're giving. Well, we do it with love for the flowers and love to entertain and educate the people. And she said, I personally know Jan. He's actually been out a farm in South Africa. Then it was called Flamingo Horticulture.
I know.
So
regards.
You're a famous person, Jan. Hey, next week, and this is the last topic I'm going to reach out to you. Is next week you will be coming here. You will be staying here with us for 2 weeks. I planned a lot of visits. I'm still waiting for some guys to react on that, but we are going to visit a lot of farms.
Yes.
If you look, the first time you went to Colombia, the first time you visited farms here, what is the big change you saw?
What the big changes?
Yeah. If you, for example, we go to a farm this year, and maybe you know that farm for already 20 years, I don't know, or 9 years, the 9 years that you were working with Delhi. Yeah. What is the biggest difference you see here in Colombian farms?
There are still some farms that grow like that.
Yeah.
But they are not our customers, and probably not other breeders' customers as well. When I came to Colombia the first time, they were still doing everything by bunch and not per stem. We talked about good irrigation, wire mesh, drip lines, using a little bit more machinery, but that's the time. That's the time that also moves up, and people want to get more productivity, and that they got. An average grower in Colombia is growing 90, 96, 95 stems per square meter net. So and they can do 4 to 5 cycles a year. on spray chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
That's 450 going to 500 stems, depends on the uniformity. So and the cycle. So that's huge, and
That's huge.
that's really a lot. So and it's now that the quality understanding has to come up. Many farm managers are also being cut or also get their salaries and bonuses according to the productivity of the farm.
Yeah.
And that we have to be more careful with those kind of things, because the productivity, if the productivity is only measured in stems per square meter, that's a wrong way of calculating.
Yeah.
You should have quality stems or salt stems per square meter, and then probably the best, like the best would be like 85, somewhere in that region. You look, in Holland we have no path, or a 10 centimeter path where your foot can stand in the width. In Colombia they have up to 50 centimeter paths.
Yeah.
But that's because the greenhouse that's there is not an infrastructure. In Holland, the greenhouse is an infrastructure. You have pipes on the top where you can go monorails and get harvesting machines to bring out the flowers, take it underneath the path to the warehouse, where it's then further graded. We grow a product which is extremely uniform in Holland, and in Colombia now you're going towards more uniformity, and there's a big difference, and that's in Holland everybody uses a soil block, and in Colombia everybody plants it inside the soil. So the start has no moment of zero. The cutting that has more roots will then create a bigger stem. And in Holland, even if it's not perfectly uniform, it will be put on zero, because all the cuttings need to start again with the rooting.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of differences, and yes, the varieties has also improved, of course, now with Icon's varieties in the market, and the more the sense of having a real true product, and not a bunch of hay which you're bringing to United States.
Yeah, but it also has to do with quality aspects of the receiving side, right? I think we talked about it with Henk as well. He was a guest with us for last year, and and we had the visit of a really important guy here, the Icon from M&M Flowers from UK. The standard of receiving flowers is so much higher than the standard of receiving flowers in the United States, and I think also that pushes his toll on the quality of the flowers as well.
No, you definitely it needs to be high. I mean, it's the same perception as that you have with chemicals and all those things. It doesn't make sense to be spraying and killing everything on the crops while you want to give this beautiful bunch of flowers to somebody.
Agree.
You want to progress life and happiness and being alive.
Yeah.
And not something that has killed everybody. We want to get away from that stigma, and I think we're doing a great job in Colombia on that.
I think so too. And the more we are going to sag those chemicals and all that stuff, which is like bad for your health, there will be other markets more open for us to receive our flowers. For example, Germany, we cannot go in right now because the flowers of Colombia still have so many chemical products there.
Yes, and maybe it's not even because they sprayed them, but sometimes it's just because it's in the soil.
Yeah.
And it's taken up
They tested really rigorously in Germany those flowers, and they will not enter.
And I also believe then that there must be a fair playing field for growers. If here the growers in Holland also can't use those chemicals, it would not be fair for the supermarket to accept those flowers if they came from Colombia. And but don't worry, or I think in the United States the supermarkets are also going to stop receiving, because there are very, according to everybody now very important chemicals which are now banned in United States, which is still like everyday chemicals in Europe. So that's there are a lot of things at play at the moment.
And there are a lot of things happening. That's true. Yeah, yes. That's true. That's really true. Jan, what a great icon selection connects with you. We connected on a really nice way, on a great scale. A lot of people watching us. Really nice. Any last words?
Thank you. Well, I would say everybody just keep growing quality. Do your best and grow quality flowers. You can grow flowers with a bamboo greenhouse and a piece of plastic. There are countries where you can grow it outside. There's so many different ways to grow chrysanthemum, and they're very valued all over the world, very known. And even if you want to grow flowers that don't look like chrysanthemums, also take chrysanthemums.
Of course. And we are really going to work on that image of chrysanthemum. I think we are doing a great job here at Icon, just to show the people right here on social media what you have and what we have in store for them. So yeah, it's nice.
If you see those people from all over the world coming into our breeding facility and seeing those varieties, they go crazy. They go crazy. They never knew a chrysanthemum could look like that. That it could have so many colors
and so many forms. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. Definitely true.
You ask it, we provide. Take a little bit of time. It will take time, but definitely, how would we say? Mark must wave his wand.
Yeah.
No, that's
but there's so much potential. Yeah.
People think you can just make these things when you are making, but it takes a long time.
It takes a really long time.
In breeding, I always use it's like a long broomstick. If you make a little turn on this side, it sweeps to that side. So a breeding program is so important, and that's what we're building.
That's what we're building.
And I also I want to also thank you for this live, Guillermo. It was very nice looking at the flowers. I'll meet everybody next week.
Next week
again.
You can see them yourself here.
I believe it's nice weather now, not raining too much.
Yeah, it's really nice. During the day, it's like hot with some clouds, but it's not raining. And then later in the evening, it's starting to rain right now. We have some weeks where the day and the night were like really dry, but right now it started to rain. But it's like really softly. It's not like we're not in the raining season yet.
No, but you say hot, and then you mean 28.
Yeah, 28, 29.
Yeah, so that's nice. I heard from Kenya that was hot last week.
That is scorching hot.
That was it was not normal. It was not normal hot.
It was not normal hot. Okay.
It was much warmer than ever before. So probably there was rain. I hope there's rain coming for those guys.
Yeah, and I think for us here it would be nice as well. there to have a
Here
little
in
bit.
Holland it's freezing.
Yeah, they told me. Are you
It's
going
great.
back to minus whatever?
Yes, minus something. I just see a salt wagon passing through my window.
Oh no, I'm so
To
happy
put
to,
salt on the roads. Nah, it's
no,
terrible. I'm sitting
so
here
happy to,
with a vest and a jersey and 4 layers.
no, I'm sweating here.
And when you just think on putting your heater up here, ka-ching, 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 ka-ching.
Ca-
Take the sun.
Cash moves everything around me, dollar, dollar bill. Yeah, that's how it goes, Jan. Hey, again, thank you so much for being with us. Peoples, if you just tune in and you wanna see everything, you can see it here on Instagram. I'm going to upload it on YouTube as well. Look for the channel Icon Selections. Follow Jan Haaksman. Follow us if you don't follow us for more flowers, more vids, more knowledge, because we are spreading the love and spreading the knowledge about flowers. The next icon selection will be in 2 weeks, and I'm still pending who is going to be there, but I have two options, and those options are really great, interesting persons where we're going to talk with. And, it's more like about trends and stuff, so that's also really nice. And designing, so that's also a different thing, part of the flower
Great.
world. Uh, from far away, Colombia, I say to you, have a nice night. Put on a cover right up to the
Don't
chin,
worry, I will.
or cuddle with a wife. And I see you, Jan, next week, and I see all the followers and viewers in 2 weeks with another Icon Selections Connects. Ciao.
Keep well. Thank you very much, Guillermo. Thank you, everybody.